Why can't they make more movies like this? I'm starting to have a very strange mixed relationship with Warner Brothers. On the one hand, they are completely botching their comic book movies, which is not really all that surprising given that they don't seem to really care about that. But on the other hand, they're constantly putting out other really good movies that just makes me want to just stop hating them altogether. Whatever else can be said about Warner Brothers as a company, when they're good, they are really good. And that is no more evident this weekend than with this incredibly amazing film, The Accountant, which has now made the list of movies that have made me cry happy tears. I had suspected that this was going to be a good movie, but I had no idea what I was in for. As a movie lover and a movie critic, it hits all the good notes for me. As a person, it hits so many relatable notes for me personally that I can't help but give it my absolute full endorsement just because of the way it handles certain personal aspects, which I will get to in a moment. The story follows a professional accountant named Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, who is a high-functioning autistic that is great with numbers, mathematical equations, but is not so good as a people person. He spends most of his time living with his disabilities, managing his own personal accounting firm, and helping out people in whatever way he can. Because even though he has a hard time socializing with people, he really wants to. But it turns out that he has a particularly dark history, both from his youth and with the certain people he does business with. A certain agent from the Treasury, played by J.K. Simmons, is hot on his tail, and is trying to figure out once and for all who this guy is. And that's honestly all I can really say about the movie without giving away too much information. Unfortunately, this movie is one of the few movies out there that doesn't have a trailer that gives away everything. It's also another one of those movies that's sort of a hodgepodge of many different genres. It's action, it's comedy, it's drama, it's suspense, it's thrilling, it's psychological. The best thing about it for me, which hit me on many personal notes, was that it was essentially an interesting representation of people with disabilities. Speaking as someone who has dealt with disabilities most of my life, and still does to this day, I found it refreshing that we had a smart movie that depicted certain aspects of disability in a pretty positive light. This movie pretty much does everything right. Everyone's acting is incredible. The cinematography is gorgeous. I mean, no surprise, it's photographed by this guy, who photographed a couple of other movies that look equally awesome. Don't ever mention that one to me again. The writing, which by the way is a completely original screenplay, not based on a book, not based on a TV show, not based on any other movie that's out there. Again, why won't they just do more original screenplays? For the love of God, do more of this, please! And the direction. Oh, wow, the direction. This film is directed by one Gavin O'Connor, who's mostly known for the film Warrior, an equally well-made film which actually shares some similarities with this film. Mainly, at their core, they are mostly films about people and about family, and the events and the conflicts that arise within a story serve to emphasize the importance of such things. This man has a great talent for taking anything and creating it into something that's immediately relatable, completely understandable, and totally worth investing your time and mind power to. If I am allowed one nitpick for this film, it's that the pacing can occasionally drag here and there. It's not necessarily that it's a slow movie, it's just that its pace is very, very even, which I personally like. But I will admit there are some spots where it feels like it kind of hits the brakes for a little too long. And need I say anything about Ben Affleck? I mean, he's practically proven himself to be a superhero, both literally and figuratively, in the entire Hollywood system. I mean, this is the guy who went from doing stuff like this.
Now look, as the cheetah approaches, watch as he stalks his prey.
To stuff like this.
Look, they're gonna try to break you, okay? By trying to get you agitated. You have to know your resume back to front.
You really believe your little story is gonna make a difference when there's a gun to our heads?
I think my story is the only thing between you and a gun to your head.
So yes, as you probably have been able to tell, I highly, highly, highly recommend this movie. I cannot recommend it enough. Please stop this review right now and go see this movie in theaters. Give it your opening weekend box office money right now, please. Because if you go see this in movie theaters right now and give it all your money, or at least as much as you're comfortable sparing, it will tell Hollywood that this is a kind of intelligent, entertaining, smart, fun, entertaining, amazingly well-crafted kind of stuff that we need, we want, and we deserve. Because if this doesn't make enough money at the box office, we're not gonna see more of it. But you know what we will very likely see more of?
Michael Bay presents Explosion!
I don't want any more of this crap. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Norm, telling you what Hollywood doesn't want you to hear. Thank you for watching.